had some of your music and some of Lucero's music in the movie The Bike Riders.
Oh yeah, yeah. My brother's movie. I think it's his sixth movie. And yeah, it's kind of it follows the same. It's based on the same book, The Bike Riders, that
Yeah,
Zero song is based on. And Jeff was nice enough to use it at the very end of the credits, because all the other music in it is 60s and 70s.
yeah, yeah. I saw that.
But he's a fan of the song, and he first found the book at my house in Memphis. Is how he first got introduced to the whole story idea. So yeah, it was cool that he used that song in the credits.
That's really cool. And like the germ of that whole thing, kind of the movie, came from you. And
Yeah, I don't think it would have been a movie. At least I don't think Jeff would have made it without that song, and me introducing him to the book. I'll take credit. I'll take credit for that. I don't get any compensation for that.
Yeah,
I don't get any money for that. But yes, I'm pretty sure it all started with me.
yeah. Well, we'll give you 100% of the credit. Maybe he could give
Thank
you
you.
a couple points on the back end of the.
Yeah.
Going anywhere. So we played quite a few shows in Austin in college that looked like backyards, like house party type of shows. And then as stuff began to kind of reopen post pandemic, we started to sneak into venues and played some small clubs, and then got to work our way up to some more legendary Austin clubs, like the Continental Club and Antone's, just old blues clubs that are been around forever. And then just have gotten to watch that and see it grow each time we play a headline show. Just pretty unreal. So we've gotten to kind of play all sorts of different levels of Austin venues, and most recently played our biggest show yet, to just over 2,000 people at a place called Stubbs Barbecue here in town, which is just such a cool venue. And growing up in Texas, I mean, I saw a handful of shows at Stubbs in high school and whatnot, and then living in Austin, have seen plenty more. And so to get to have headline that venue now and pretty much sold it out was a real treat.
That's good, and it's good for the city too.
Yeah.
When you guys are rolling down the road and you're in the van, what are some of the things you're listening to currently, or who are some of the songwriters or bands that are inspiring you?
Yeah, great question. We, as a band, I feel like some of our biggest, like both Truett and I, but the guys that we tour with as well, all huge Nathaniel Rateliff fans.
Yeah.
I feel like one thing we can always count on is there's going to be a lot of Nathaniel played in the van. I feel like Nathaniel does such a great job of same thing we were just talking about with the Avett Bros, right? Like such a great songwriter, such an incredible performer, cannot match his performance. And I forget what I already said. Great songwriter, performer, and a great guy. We've gotten to run into him a few times, and he's been super kind to us. We play a bunch of Nathaniel.
Every year I'm trying to figure it out more and more. So when my daughter was born, I was playing 250 shows a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I quickly realized that was not the ticket. And so we went to 200 and then to 150 and to 100 and to 90 and to 80. And this year, we're doing 71 shows this year, which for a lot of bands might still be a lot of shows.
That's a lot of shows, yeah.
But for our band, 71 feels like we're taking our foot off the gas quite a bit.
Yeah.
And the goal is next year to play less than 70. Because that means that for 300 days out of the year, I get to be home. And I'm lucky. I'm very fortunate in my career because now I'm home. I don't have to work another gig. And my wife doesn't work. And so when I'm home, our family union is pretty rock solid for 300 days a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm lucky. My daughter's 6 now. So my daughter's at an age where she completely understands what I do for a living. Dad writes songs. Dad travels around the world and plays those songs. And that means that for him to do his job, he's got to be gone sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still. And I just wanted to ask you about your experiences recording it. with Shooter Jennings out in LA, how the vibe was for that, because the record sounds great.
Thanks, man. Yeah, this is our second record we've done with Shooter out in Los Angeles. He is, and I don't really see us in the foreseeable future making records with anybody else. He kind of taught this version of the band how to make records together. And so far, I'd say, he did Lamentations and The Fear of Standing Still, and both of those records I'm still exceptionally proud of. So I think we found our producer. And I think what he adds to a session is he just reminds you to be a good band. He's like, you guys got here for a reason. Like, you're already a good band. Just go in the studio and play the song. So many producers want to nitpick and have like this kind of ultimate say on how a song goes. And Shooter's one of those people that, like, he trusts the six of us that if we can interpersonally decide on a direction for a song, that is probably going in the right direction. It's going to be me sitting there with an acoustic guitar playing, or it's going to be me, actually singing the songs live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's so much of what we do now is feeding that content beast. And, it sucks. And I watch my friends have to do it. And like, I refuse to be that guy that just like pantomimes over a recorded track while I'm in the woods.
Well,
fuck that nonsense. Like,
thank you. Yeah. On behalf of the music community.
I think the world thanks every band that doesn't fucking do that.
Yeah.
But maybe it's the old man in me, but like, I would much rather, that's why the reels that we have started posting, we record all of our shows. So what we do is our video guy, Kason, just gets these really great snippets of songs, and then he goes to our front of house engineer.
I love it. And I'm a huge supporter of women. And I just, and it's not because I'm a woman that I'm saying that. It's just, and I hate delineating the fact that it is, I'm saying great women or music's being made by, great music's being made by women. But honestly, like, the records that I'm gravitating towards right now are, they're happening to be women artists. So I think that's great. Coming out in numbers now, force.
Taking a minute to kind of breathe that in and to recognize, be present in that moment.
Yeah, that's we were just on a Zoom call with distribution the other day, and like the head dude of the conversation was like, you need to take this in and breathe it in. And I have a friend named Dan Kaufman. He's just an all-time dude. We thank him on anything we release because he's done so much for the band, and he's one of my best friends, if not my best friend. And he was in a band in the 80s called Passenger. And they were like in a deal with Geffen, and then it all went kaput and all this crap. But anyway, I go fishing at his lake that he's got, and he told me like a little over a year ago, he's like, you better enjoy your fishing right now. And he's like, something's gonna happen. So that's always the mindset I have. Like, I'm still just fishing, man. Like, and it's been overwhelming. I won't lie, but it's been like good. Like, we're figuring out, well, is this what we really want? And it is, Yeah. But, just things I have faith in that aren't earthly brings me complete peace. I don't know, man. I'm just really enjoying being alive currently. And not because of the music, just because of just things that have happened in the past few years that have forced me to create my own foundation instead of relying on parents and other people. And I don't want to be the 28-year-old that looks back in 30 years and be like, God, I thought I knew everything. Right. But I do feel like I figured some things out in my life personally. So I don't know. Not every day is good, but like, it's still good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The classical piano performance, I wasn't cut out for, and I kind of built towards that through growing up playing in bands and all that. But classical piano was my thing for a long time, and so it was kind of what my parents wanted too. So when I finally busted into into like music school, it wasn't long until I figured out that, you know, maybe my music education would continue outside of the classroom.
Right.
And I think it was the right call. And I ended up going to Indiana, and I studied literature and journalism. And just, I was always a big reader and writer. So I think I also learned to communicate better. And I also got more experience just being a human being and
you know, I love all of the big institutions in St. Louis that give us so much of our character. I love the St. Louis Art Museum. I love the Muni. I love the Fox. I love going to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater and catching a really big show. Those are all amazing things, and we love them to death. But what about some of the smaller venues that we were talking about?
Right.
You know, what about some of these smaller theater companies and, you know, dance performance companies that we have? You know, some of these really cool underground, edgy things that so many people want to find. They want to go to a city and they want to feel like they live there, like they know the secret things to go to, not the things that are on, you know, all the travel websites. Like, oh, go here and go here.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of kids. We're playing this thing that's been happening for a few years tomorrow night called the Tuesday Honky Tonk, and it's at this American Legion Hall that is great. And it's just a bunch of young people dancing to cool country music. Yeah. And it's a real scene. And so there is a thirst for something authentic, I think. And, you know, and to me that my rock and roll is late 70s, early 80s rock and roll, you know, when I was in high school, meaning like, you know, the Ramones and Clash and Nick Lowe. And, you know, there was a great time period there where there was a lot of cool local bands and everything. And, and so now, you know, I wrote this song years ago called Little Ramon Has Gone Hillbilly Nuts. And it was a song about a punk rock gal who went all country. And now I think, you know, my attitude is that now I've kind of infused my punk rock back into my hillbilly music.